Chapter 7. Fractured Alliances. Michael stood frozen in the server room, his eyes locked with Carmichael's. The faint hum of the machine seemed deafening in the sudden silence, amplifying the tension in the air. Her smile was cold, calculated, and filled with the confidence of someone who believed they had already won. "Mr. Rowe," Carmichael said again, stepping into the room. Her operatives flanked her, their movements precise and purposeful. "I have to admit, I'm impressed. Few make it this far." Michael forced himself to stay calm, his mind racing for an escape plan. "You underestimated me," he said, his voice steady. "That was your mistake." Her smile widened. "Perhaps. But here you are, cornered. Did you really think you could disrupt Nemesis with a single USB drive? You don't even understand the full scope of what you're fighting against." Michael's jaw tightened. "Then why don't you enlighten me?" Carmichael's expression turned serious. She motioned for her operatives to lower their weapons, a gesture of calculated control. "Very well. You're a journalist at heart, aren't you? Always seeking the truth. Let me give you a glimpse." She stepped closer to one of the terminals and entered a series of commands. The screens around them flickered, displaying a web of interconnected nodes, each labeled with locations, names, and coded data. More detailed than Michael expected, the network map pulsed with activity, showcasing the intricate living organism that Nemesis had become. "This is Nemesis," Carmichael said, her voice filled with conviction. "A network of minds, unified and efficient. No more chaos, no more indecision. Humanity's greatest flaws, selfishness, greed, conflict, eliminated with precision. And you want to destroy that?" Michael's fists clenched. "You're not eliminating chaos. You're erasing free will." Carmichael's eyes narrowed. "Free will is an illusion, Mr. Rowe. A luxury that humanity cannot afford. Nemesis isn't about control for its own sake. It's about survival." Before Michael could respond, the room erupted into chaos. The server systems began to spark and glitch, the virus Samira had uploaded taking its toll. Alarms blared, and the operatives raised their weapons again. "You didn't come here alone," Carmichael said, her voice cold with realization. "Who's helping you?" Michael took advantage of the distraction, diving behind a console as gunfire erupted. The virus had destabilized the room's automated defenses, and security drones began to malfunction, firing erratically at anything that moved. Sparks flew, and the temperature in the room seemed to rise with each passing second. The screens flickered wildly, showing glimpses of the virus spreading deeper into Nemesis's network. "Samira," Michael hissed into his earpiece, "I'm pinned down. What's the exit strategy?" Her voice crackled in response. "I'm overriding the South Wing security. You'll have a window, but it'll be tight. Get moving." Michael darted from his hiding spot, narrowly avoiding a burst of gunfire. He grabbed a fallen operative's stun grenade and hurled it toward Carmichael's team, the flash and concussive blast buying him precious seconds. He bolted for the exit, his lungs burning as he sprinted through the maze of corridors, alarms blaring around him. Doors slammed shut in his wake, the automated lockdown chasing him like a shadow. The South Wing was a scene of chaos. Security personnel scrambled to contain the virus's effects, their focus divided between malfunctioning systems and the intruder in their midst. Sparks flew from overloading circuits, and the intermittent bursts of emergency lighting cast the scene in surreal shadows. The air was heavy with the scent of burning plastic and ozone. Michael ducked behind a row of crates, catching his breath as Samira's voice guided him through the chaos. "You're almost there," she said. "The exit's just ahead, but there's a problem. Carmichael's activated a lockdown protocol. If you don't get out in the next 2 minutes, you're trapped." Michael cursed under his breath. "I'll make it." He moved cautiously, his steps silent as he approached the final security checkpoint. The door was sealed, its control panel blinking red. Michael's heart sank as he realized the system required dual biometric verification. His hands tightened into fists. There had to be a way. "Samira, I need a way through this door," he said, panic creeping into his voice. Working on it, she replied. But it'll take time. Time he didn't have. Michael's mind raced, and then he saw it. An unconscious security guard slumped against the wall. Dragging the guard to the panel, Michael pressed the man's hand against the scanner. The first verification cleared, and Samira's override completed the second. The door hissed open, and Michael bolted through just as the lockdown timer reached its final seconds. His legs burned as he sprinted into the open air, the freedom of the night sky just ahead. The cold night air hit him like a wave as he emerged from the facility. A sleek black van screeched to a halt in front of him, and the side door slid open to reveal Samira, her face pale but determined. "Get in!" she shouted. Michael didn't hesitate, diving into the van as it sped away. He collapsed against the seat, his chest heaving as adrenaline coursed through him. His fingers ached from gripping his makeshift weapons, and his ears still rang from the chaos he had left behind. He could still hear Carmichael's voice echoing in his mind, cold and unyielding. Samira handed him a bottle of water, her expression a mix of relief and concern. "That was too close." Michael nodded, his voice hoarse. "Carmichael's onto us. She knows we're not working alone." Samira's jaw tightened. "Then we need to move fast. The virus bought us some time, but it won't take her long to regroup. She'll tighten her defenses now. Whatever advantage we had is shrinking." Gabriel's voice crackled over the comms from the driver's seat. "We'll need to change tactics. She'll be expecting us to hit her infrastructure again. We have to make this personal." Michael stared out the window, the lights of the city blurring as the van sped away. The confrontation with Carmichael replayed in his mind, her chilling words echoing in his ears. Nemesis wasn't just a project. It was a philosophy, a machine of control masquerading as salvation. He knew she wouldn't stop, and neither could he. As the van disappeared into the night, Michael realized the battle was far from over. Carmichael had shown her hand, but the cost of opposing her would only grow steeper. The fractured alliances he had built were all he had left, and he would need every ounce of their strength to win the fight ahead. This wasn't just a battle against technology. It was a battle for humanity itself. The storm was coming, and Michael knew they were running out of time.